What's up, everybody? How's it going? Austin Practal Elevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you all had a really good weekend. As you guys are tuning in, let me know how your day is going so far. But today, I'm going to be talking about 5 things that I'm going to be doing to improve my mental health this month, and maybe you guys can take some of these pointers away and utilize them in your day to day. Because, in case you guys did not know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and you guys know that I'm pretty big on mental health advocacy and things like that. Being someone who has struggled with theirs in the past from time to time, and I know a lot of other people. Honestly, I know more people that struggle with their mental health from time to time than not, and I think it's something that everybody goes through at some point in their life. And so I think that it's important to talk about these things. And so, yeah, just I guess kicking it off, just to let you guys know, I'm still showing up, um, you know, consistently, when it comes to my work, when it comes to, providing value and, going live and doing all these things like that. But, like, just to be completely, like, transparent and honest, like, my mental health probably hasn't been the best lately. Like, just to be, like, fully, like, transparent about it. Hasn't been awesome. And this isn't necessarily, like, for sympathy or anything like that, but just to, like, lay out the facts and to explain, like, you guys can still do great things and still show up for yourself. It may not be at 100% perfect, but if you work on it enough, if you build these habits and these skills and these disciplines long enough, you can still show up for yourself. It might not be at 100%, but at the end of the day, like I've said before, something is better than nothing. And so, still showing up, still getting shit done at the end of the day. But it has been tough. I've been feeling, you know, since I talked about burnout, shit, I don't know, like a month and a half. It was probably like a month and a half ago. I haven't gotten fully back into the swing of feeling like myself lately. And so, like, fully like myself. And so, been dealing with like off and on burnout here and there. And, kind of due to that fact, just been like, kind of putting my cut, not necessarily on the back burner in terms of like losing weight and things like that, but just, not going as hard at it as I normally would until I get things kind of sorted out with myself. But, things like I'm gonna be honest, I am tired all the freaking time. Other than in the like I feel good for the first couple hours of the day, and then I am just like dead freaking tired all day. Things like that. And like, I've been struggling with my anxiety a lot, just to be fully transparent. Going grocery shopping, driving in the car, like random shit that should be easy, or even going live. Like, even going live. Like, I honestly have been, it's been, tougher than normal to do it. And it's not, it doesn't mean I shouldn't do it. So I'm not. So I'm still, showing up as much as I can. But it is definitely something that, that from time to time, uh, you know, gets me more than it has in the past. And so, dealing with that and just trying to manage that and working through that and things like that. And so I think, especially with it being, May, Mental Health Awareness Month, I figured I would talk to you guys about some of these things and just kind of, lay it all out and just show like you can fucking kick ass at your goals, even if you are struggling with some of these things sometimes. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be really fucking hard sometimes, but you can still do it. You can still make these things, a reality for yourself, as long as you're willing to continue to try and put in the work and be a little bit better than you were the day before. And so, these are 5 things that I'm doing this month. It's kind of like 5 or 6, depending on how you want to count it. But these are 5 things that I'm really prioritizing this month and doing in order to, benefit myself and really make sure that I'm doing my best for my own mental health. And so, the first thing, sleep. Guys, sleep is so freaking important when it comes to regulating your mood, when it comes to your mental health. Like, making sure that you're getting quality sleep at night is so important, because that's like when your brain like cleans itself. That's like when your brain like scrubs itself and like realigns things and gets things back into like order and things like that. And it doesn't it and if you're not getting enough sleep, it's not doing a very good job of that. And so making sure that you're getting at least 7 to like 9 hours of sleep every night, like that should be that's such an important thing. And that's such an important thing. Like, people have said in the past, like, or and I've even said in the past, and to quote, I can't remember who it was, but like, sleep is like the number one like performance enhancing like drug that people are like missing out on because they're not getting enough sleep. And so, making sure that I'm getting enough sleep every night, that's something I'm going to be focusing on. I do a pretty good job of it, but, really focused on the quality of my sleep going forward. That's been, a priority of mine. Hey, Laura, how's it going? I see you. And so, yeah, sleep. Guys, sleep is so important, especially when it comes to like regulating your mood and things like that. So, making sure that you're getting enough sleep. That's number one. Number two, uh, nutrition and exercise. Exercising regularly. I'm still doing that. I don't think I'll ever stop doing that. But it's so ingrained in me. Like I feel like my day is messed up, even if I'm having a bad day, even if I don't go to the gym. So going to the gym regularly, making sure that my nutrition is more on point, especially in the micronutrient department. And why do I say that? Well, a lot of these micronutrients that we get on a daily basis, if you're deficient in some of them, they can impact your mental health. They can impact how your body and your system is operating properly. So one in particular that I'm working on this month is magnesium, making sure that I'm getting enough magnesium in on a daily basis, just because it's one of the it actually can play a big role if you're deficient in it in anxiety and making it worse if you're not getting enough of it. And actually, I think it's more it may be worldwide, but I'm pretty sure it's just the study that was done was like on Americans. But 50% of adults in America are deficient in magnesium. And so making sure that you're getting enough of that in your diet, and supplementing with it if you need to, on a daily basis, should be something that you should consider. So I'm going to be doing that. Another thing, no marijuana. No marijuana at all. Like for like yeah, none of that, just because it's one of those things too that can make anxiety worse. And also, if you have a history of mental health issues and things like that, it can trigger psychosis and things like that, which is not fun and something that people probably don't want to experience in life. So yeah, so none of that. So I'm cutting that out completely, which has been interesting and has been a good experience thus far, working through that. Especially if you guys didn't know, in terms of if you drink or if you smoke marijuana, it can basically prevent your brain from truly going into like a deep REM sleep, which right now that's kind of in and out. There's been studies that show that it's like, it's super important, and there's been others that show like so REM sleep's whenever you dream, essentially rapid eye movement, but that's when you dream, and how big of a role that plays in actual like your brain health and like your sleep quality. That's there's studies that say it's really important. There's studies that say it's not so important. But regardless, whenever you drink or you smoke, you basically your brain doesn't go into deep REM sleep. And so that's something that could be that kind of ties into also improve sleep quality, to look into getting the benefit of by not doing those things. So yeah, so that's one thing. Other thing, ooh, this one's taboo. It's not really taboo. I don't think it should be taboo, but it's something that people don't like talking about openly. But getting a therapist, man, like that's something that I'm going to be doing this month. It's not something that I've ever done before. I've talked to like mental health specialists in the past, like when I was in college and things like that. But making sure that it's one of those things. It's like, and I've talked to a lot of like really fucking like successful people, especially in like my space, and like with what I do in like the fitness nutrition realm. And like having a therapist is something that like all of them like highly highly suggest and recommend, especially like when you start like operating at a higher level and you've got a lot more on your plate, you're doing a lot more things, and like you're in charge of a lot more things, like the stress can get to you. And making sure that you have somebody that you can like there's this saying. It's like you can't read you can't read the label from inside the bottle. And I think that's a really powerful statement, because like it's hard for us as individuals to look at what we're dealing with or our own potential problems or whatever may be going on in our day to day from the inside out. Like we can't read the label from inside the bottle, aka we're inside the bottle, and so we can't see what's going on outside and how to like manage that properly. So having somebody who's a professional at that shit can be really helpful, and it's something that not a lot of people like to talk about necessarily. I feel like it's gotten way less like taboo or shameful or whatever it may be. Over the last like 5 to 10 years, which is awesome, which is the way it should be, because like mental health shouldn't be like a taboo thing, like it shouldn't be, and so it's one of those things too that that's something that I'm going to be working on doing. It's one of those things that I don't feel like you know I don't know, like this. And the reason I'm talking about this stuff is like, if this helps like one person, like fuck yeah, like that's awesome. Like, there's a reason why people avoid talking about these things, especially in public, especially on social media, especially like to a bunch of people, to that, may or may not potentially judge somebody for these things. And so, these are avoided like, taboo topics that are tough to like talk about because there is some like inherent like shame tied to it or embarrassment tied to it when there really shouldn't be. And so that's why I think talking about these things openly can really help others feel like they're in more control of these things. It definitely has that impact and effect on me. And just putting it out there and be able to talk about it openly is really helpful sometimes. And so that's something that I'm going to be working on doing. Just because like it's super important. Like every and they even recommend like the really successful people that I know and really respect. They're like it can only make things better, right? Like even like normal people who aren't struggling with like their mental health and stuff like that, like should have a therapist. It's one of those things that like I think that not enough. I don't think that there's enough like like funding and things like that. I don't think that there's enough in terms of like making people aware of like the benefits of it and things like that. And it was always something for me personally, growing up that I was always just like like I don't need help. Like I'm fine. Like I'm cool. Like I'm good. Like and arguably like maybe I don't even need one at this point. But it's one of those things that why not take advantage of something that can only improve your life if you take advantage of it. And so that's something that I'm going to be doing too for this month, since May is Mental Health Awareness Month. But doing that, and I think only good things can come from having a second set of eyes on somebody's mental state and somebody's like there's always I'm of the mindset like the more eyes you have on a problem, like the better results or the better answer you're going to get out of it. And so the same thing applies to us and how successful or streamlined we're planning on trying to make ourselves, in on a day to day, on a week to week basis. And so yeah, so the last thing I'm going to be doing, which I've been doing anyways, I actually ended up taking like a week and a half off of doing it, and that was like having and meditating daily. So meditating daily is something that I'm going to be doing again on a daily basis. I've been doing it for like the last like I think like 13 or 14 days straight, but it's something that I noticed that made a big difference in my day to day in terms of how it really started and how it like if it's one of those things, if you start your day off on the right foot, you're way more likely to continue having positive days going or a positive day going forward. And so meditating on a daily basis I think is something else that a lot of people can really benefit from in terms of just being present, being mindful, and being able to take full advantage of thinking about just kind of dealing with their mood or their emotions and things like that on a daily basis. I think it can be it's an extremely powerful tool that I don't think enough people realize or like take advantage of. So yeah, so those are the 5 things that I'm going to be doing this month to improve my mental health. And yeah, so if you're somebody who struggles with these things from time to time, feel free to reach out. Feel free to if you've got any questions about anything, feel free to reach out. Let me know what's the number one takeaway from this live that you guys got from it, and let me know like what are you going to be doing this month during during the month of May to, work on improving your mental health. It doesn't even necessarily have to be, because you have mental health. Like mental health, like is just like it's a general concept. It's not that, to work and improve upon your mental health doesn't mean that there's something wrong with your mental health at this current time. It just means that, everybody has room for improvement with anything there is. And so, what are you going to be doing to benefit yourself this month? What are you going to be doing to work, like going to be working on to, help you become the best version of yourself at the end of the day. And so that's all I got for you guys for today. So happy Monday. Hope you guys had a good day. Hope you had a good ass day. And other than that, I'm gonna let you guys go. If you got value from this, give it a like. Let me know. Feel free. It helps other people see see this video with the algorithm, all that good stuff. But other than that, I will talk to you guys later.